Legendary is one of my favorite games. I love this deck building game, cooperative game about building a team of superheroes and playing against a villain. Or when they added the villain set, building some more a villain team and fighting superheroes or whatever. Since they can mix them together, that's so much fun. So there's the original game, and then they came out with the Dark City expansion. They came out with the Fantastic Four, the Spider-Man expansion, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the villains. So there's a ton of heroes. Each of these expansions, some of them only have four or five heroes, but some of them have tons of heroes. I think there's like 40, 50, 60 heroes to choose from. So today I'm going to talk to you about my top 10 favorite heroes. Now this could change very easily probably. I'm not saying these heroes are the best heroes in the game. These are the ones that I love, and if I choose a hero to throw in the deck, I will probably choose one of these guys because I think they're just fun to play with. I'm going to mention, before I show you my top 10, the runner-up honorable mention goes to the Fantastic Four. I didn't pick any single one of the Fantastic Four or Silver Surfer who's with them because they work so well as a group, not so well outside the group. Together, they're absolutely amazing and one of the best combos in the game. So I'll say Fantastic Four, woo! Okay, so taking them out of the equation, what are my 10 favorite heroes or villains? Let me show you. Oh, right. Well, first of all, we'll start with a character that I'm really not a big fan of in the comics, but I do like her in this game, and that is Spider-Woman. Now, I like Spider-Woman for a few things. First of all, this card here where you can, to play this card, you have to put a card on the top of the deck, but still, it gives 3 money, which can be useful. But more important than that, I love her wall crawl, where you can reveal the top card of the deck if it has one of these attack icons, draw it. So not only do you get to attack, but there's a chance that you can attack again. Just like the Venom here, reveal the top card of your deck. If it shows a money icon, draw it. So you can attack and spend money. I like these boom boom cards like that. And then the card that really draws me to using her is her big card, where you can basically recruit a hero from the headquarters for free and possibly put that hero on top of your deck. What a great combination. I love the idea of taking any hero I want, put on top of my deck for the next turn, trying to figure out what exactly is the card you need. Then we have Cyclops, another character I'm not fond of in the comics. And his first card here is, it's okay. Okay, you have to discard a card from your hand. It's very similar to Spider-Woman's card. But then, this one I like. It's a 3 attack. To play it, you have to discard a card from your hand. Pretty much the same thing as this one, but 3 money is one thing, 3 attack is another, especially for a cost of 3. So I'll gladly trade that in to play that. And then his big powerful card where you get +2 attack for each other X-Men hero that you play. That's great, but it's a 6 anyway, which is powerful. But my favorite card is not his most powerful, it's this one, where if a card effect makes you discard this card, you may return it to your hand. So many times there's guys who make you discard a card, and in this game, Legendary, that's often very crippling and annoying. But if you have this in your hand, you just say, hey, this is one I'm discarding, and then I'm putting it back, and it's a 4 attack. Then we move on to Thor. This is the second character besides Cyclops from the basic set that I like. Here he simply gets a 2 attack, but if you play it after a strength card, which is very possible, it becomes 4 money. Here, if you make 8 or more money this turn, you get +3 attack. Now, this doesn't happen as much as you think it might or should, but the fact that it can is a lot of fun. And I especially like the fact that he's a simple 3 attack that easily, if you have any other Thor cards, easily turns into a 6 attack. And then here, where you can use money as attack power this turn, and this is 5 money, so you can essentially turn it into a 5 attack or 5 money. This was before they made the versatile trade ability, but this is a great card and it makes Thor very useful. Bullseye, yes, I'm putting some villains in here. Bullseye, simple attack for 2 and draw a card possibly, or the dodge ability, but I love, the dodge is nice, the getting rid of the cards, saving them for another time, but choosing an adversary group or choosing a villain group if you're playing against villains, you get +1 for each of them that you've killed. So, if you pick, for example, a group that you've killed 2 or 3 of, this suddenly becomes a 3+ or a 4+. You can go after the same guys all the time, and it makes not only this card more powerful, but makes a specialist assassin more powerful. This is a 3 already, but it gets anyone you attack who you've already beaten, they get easier and easier to defeat. And then, of course, here, this is a 5 attack, but if you've beaten the commander or the supervillain once, this becomes a 10. You've beaten them twice, this becomes a 15, which is automatic kill anything kind of card. It's kind of weird that Bullseye is one of the best people to take up against Galactus, Thanos, and Apocalypse and such. But hey, he's a bad guy. He wouldn't do that. In my games, he does. Then we have our first from the Guardians of the Galaxy here, Drax the Destroyer, where you can look at the top card, put it back, and KO it, so it's a good way to get rid of wounds. So it's a nice money card that does something extra. Here, everyone else reveals a hero or discards an artifact they control. For each artifact, you get a shard. Not as big on this card, but it is a 4 attack for 6. It's okay. I don't really like cards that hurt the opponent. Some people like them more than not. That's not why I like Drax as much. I like him because he has this artifact, which is great. And once per turn, you get an attack power. Period. You play this, you have it every turn, an attack power. Every turn. It's great, especially if you get 2 of these into play. And then his card that just doubles all your attack. Amazing. One of my favorite big cards. Then we have Drax's friend, the Hulk. Who would win in a battle between Drax and the Hulk? I don't know. The Hulk has a simple 2, but probably 3 attack card, which is great. He can also KO a wound from his hand or discard pile to get an extra 2 attack to make this 4. So if Hulk is up against people giving wounds, it's great. In fact, Hulk is one of those people you take when you want to win. He just has really good, strong cards. Here, everyone gets a wound, which is kind of bad, but it's a 4 attack for a cost of 5, and Hulk himself can get rid of these wounds later on. And then here's a 5, and if you have another strength card, which almost all of Hulk's cards are, it becomes a 10. I just like Hulk because it's just straight up sheer power. Then we have Forge. Now here's the versatile stat, which I like a lot. It's a 3 money or 3 attack. Which one do you want it to be? Who cares? He also has this card, which is just unbelievably awesome. If you play this card after you've played 2 more of these technology cards, you defeat the Mastermind once for free. Wow. Now, I've only pulled this off, I think, once in a game that I've seen, but the idea that it's there and possible, oh, man. Also, he has this card, which any villain you fight in the sewers is -2. Big deal. That's not that big. Or you can discard a card if you do draw 2 cards. But Forge is all about that big attack card. Then another Guardians for the Galaxy is Gamora, where this card I never buy because I don't think it's worth it. 2 to give a villain a shard. I guess you can give villains shards to make so that when you beat them you get the shard, but that also strengthens the villain, so I don't use this one as much. Her other ones are much more useful. This one gives her 2 shards, possibly 3. This one here, a villain of your choice gets no help from the shards, or the Mastermind gets no help from shards. Now that doesn't matter unless you're playing a Mastermind or villains that have shards in them. So this one could be, but I mean it's still a 3 attack for 5, which is decent. And then her artifact here, every turn get 2 shards. Every turn you get 2 shards. And once per turn you can spend 5 shards to get a 10 attack. And this stays in front of you. So what this means is every 3 turns you're getting a 10 attack, which makes her incredibly powerful. And you mix that with this card that gives you 2 shards, and it's unbelievable, which is why she is so high up in my favorites. And another Guardians for the Galaxy is in my top. Now, if we go by how much I like the character, Groot would have made it, but how much they work in the game, Star-Lord himself. Here I can choose an artifact and copy that, which is great because he has artifacts himself. So I can just copy other players' artifacts. So you get a shard if someone else has that, and he gets one every turn. And every turn, draw a card. These are great. You get both those out in front of you. That's a great combo. Or here, once per turn, gain a shard for each artifact you control. Suddenly, Star-Lord has a ton of stuff coming into play. Love it. And my favorite character is another villain, Mystique. She has dodge, and you can choose a class. This card is considered that class instead of this, the red symbol there. This is great. The fact that when you play this card, you can make any other card become a combo. Fantastic. Here, if this is a 2 attack, but it could be a 5 attack if you get the right combo, which you might be able to pull off if you're using this card. And then her big card here, reveal the top 5 cards of the ally deck. You get the attack equal to all the attack printed on those cards, which could be mind-blowingly huge. This is an awesome card. It's a kind of a gambling card, which is why I like it. But I actually like this card just as much, and it's easier to do. Reveal the top card of the ally deck. You can play a copy of that card this turn. When you do, put that card on the bottom of the ally deck. So you just turn over the top card, whatever it is, you get, which could be amazing. It could be bleh, but it's something. And I love this. I love that turning a card over, which is why Mystique is my favorite character to use. It's just amazing how much I like this game more and more all the time. It's fun, and I love the huge variety in it. I'm a big comic book guy, especially Marvel comics, and so it's a lot of fun. What are your favorite heroes or villains to use in the game? Which ones do you hate? You probably disagree with me. What do you like? Tell me in the comments below. I love to hear your thoughts on it. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
Do.